Okay, so number 2, do the same thing. We need to be starting in the same place.
But now help you. Okay.
Oh, hi. So we're gonna start with negative b over 2a, negative b over 2a. That is our axis of symmetry. Okay, that's why it's always listed as x equals. It's gonna be an x line. So negative b over 2a, our b value is negative 16, and our a value is positive 2. Negative times a negative is a positive 16 over 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So our axis of symmetry is 4. So here it is. Let's do this in blue. Here's 4. Okay, axis of symmetry, x equals 4. Now that also means it's the x value of our vertex. These two are the same. The axis of symmetry is the x value of our vertex. Okay, we'll fill it into the chart, x and our y values, and we're going to start at 4. And again, the two numbers around 4 are going to be 3 and 5, but I'm going to pick numbers that are just going to be a little bit different. I'll do 2 and 6 instead, just so I can do something different than the last one. Okay. Also, I think even numbers might be a little bit easier to deal with, considering I have all these even numbers here. So I'll pick even numbers. So again, I'm going to start with my vertex, f of 4. That's the number we started with, this one. Make it a star symbol. Equals 2 times 4 squared minus 16. X is 4 plus 36. Anything that says quadratic. So f of 4 equals 2 times 16. Remember to do the squaring first before you multiply. And 16 times negative 16 times 4 is, I don't know, 64. Hope that works. Plus 36. F of 4 equals 32. 16 times 2 minus 64 plus 36. F of 4 equals, I'll put all the positive numbers together. 36 and 32 make 68 minus 64, and f of 4 equals 4. Okay, so this is my vertex, the first point that I start with. Those two are the same. 4 for the x value, 4 for the y value, and 4 comma 4. That's our vertex. Okay. Go to this line.
So you can see your face.
Okay, 4 comma 4. Now I'm going to do the two red lines, the one at 2 and the one at 6. Here's x equals 2, and here's x equals 6. So I'm going to look for points here. They're a little bit further away, which is fine. I don't have to do the ones right next to it. F of, let's do, what, 2? Number's a lot smaller than that 6, so 2 times 2 squared minus 16 times 2 plus 36. So f of 2, every time I see an x, I'll put a 2. 2 and 2 squared is 4 minus 32 plus 36. F of 2. Okay, we're going to combine our positive numbers. We should have 44 minus 32. F of 2 equals 12. And we'll mark it at 12. these answers should be the same here, 12 and 12, because of the same distance from the center here and here, and then we can connect the dots. Yeah. Sorry, I subtracted wrong earlier. I did 44 minus 32. I wrote 8. Should have been 12. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Again, it doesn't touch the x-axis at all, so no real solutions. Where does it touch here? It doesn't, so no solutions. Okay, so we're going to start the same thing again. Axis of symmetry is always going to be x equals negative b over 2a. So here's my x equals, here's my x equals. So we'll have x equals negative. Our b value is 2, and our a value is negative 1. Negative 2 over negative 2, we should have a center of positive 1. Our axis of symmetry is x equals 1. Our axis of symmetry is x equals 1, which is right here. Scoot that over. X equals 1. Axis of symmetry. That's always where you start. X equals 1. Axis of symmetry. In our table, we should have 1. And then we'll go the numbers around it. We'll go to 0, and we'll go to 2. All we do is find out where we start. Okay. This 1 value here, this axis of symmetry, again, these are the same. The axis of symmetry is the x value of the vertex. So we'll plug it in. F of 1 equals negative 1 squared plus 2 times 1 squared. No, that's not squared, sorry. Plus 1. So f of 1 equals negative 1 plus 2 plus 1. F of 1 equals negative 1 plus 3. F of 1 equals 2. So that's our starting point. Okay, here's our y value of 2. So 1 comma 2. Now this is the really oh sorry, this is a vertex over there. 1 comma 2. Vertex. It's the first place I always look for in my graph. Now this is the really easy part. As soon as I see a 0 in the x column, there's my y. Done. And these two are the same because they're 1 distance away from the center. So I got all my work done. Woo. That was so easy. Here's that 0 mark. Here's that 2 mark. X equals 2. And they should both be at 1. Okay, so this is what my parabola is going to look like. Now, when I have this parabola, and I do have solutions. Okay, my solutions are where they cross, again, where they cross right here on the x-axis, on the ground. Okay. Now, easiest way to do this is just to visually identify them. That is a solution right there, where the red and the green line cross, and that's a solution. I don't really know where those numbers are exactly, okay, but I can approximate them. Okay, my solution should be something, comma, 0, and something, comma, 0. Always going to be a y value of 0. This, I don't know, I'm going to guess, I don't know, 2.5, approximately. And this one is going to be, I don't know, negative half, negative 0.5, I'm just guessing. Okay, those are visual approximations. I know that's a solution. I know that's a solution. It's a solution. It's a root. It's an x-intercept. And it's also a 0. All 4 of those things are represented by where it's going to touch the x-axis. Right there. Okay, we're going to start again at our x value of negative b over 2a. That's the middle of our graph. That is our equation for the axis of symmetry. Okay, graphing these are really easy. You just have to start here. Okay, so negative, here's our b value of negative 2 over 2 times our a value of negative 1. So we have positive 2 over negative 2 equals negative 1. So negative 1 is the axis of symmetry. It's also the first part of our vertex, and it's always going to be a vertical line that's going to be an x value. This is the center. X equals negative 1. Okay, so into the t-chart, x and y, negative 1 is where we start. I'm going to plug it in and find the numbers around it. Again, if we have a 0 and a negative 2, the numbers that go to the left and to the right, this one is the easy one. We'll get to that in a second. So f of negative 1 equals negative 1 squared minus 2 times negative 1 minus 4. So f of negative 1 equals negative, and then this squared is going to be a positive 1. Remember, squares before distributing. Negative and negative make a positive 2 and minus 4. F of negative 1 equals negative 1 plus 2 minus 4. F of negative 1 equals negative 5 plus 2. F of negative 1 equals negative 3. So negative 3, this is our vertex, which is right there. So that's our y value. Our y value should be here, negative 3. And we now have our vertex, negative 1 comma negative 3. That is our vertex. Okay. Pretty much all done, because this point right here, well, let's like line those up with the x values. I'm going to look for 0, x equals 0, that's this one, and x equals negative 2, because those are super duper easy to find. They are matching because they are the same distance from the center. This is one less, or one more, and this is one less. And this one, because it's a 0, should be right there. That is the y value. Negative 4 and negative 4. These match because these match. So negative 4 there and negative 4 there. Done. I didn't have to do any work for that one. Sweet. There you go. Done. Solutions, where does it cross again? Where does it cross the ground right here? This red line never crosses that green line, so again we'll say no solutions. No real solutions. Yes, we will have imaginary solutions later. No real solutions.